I'm Claudia Parker, producer and director of 5 Minutes of Faith, and today we're talking about waiting. Spiritual transformation doesn't happen when we get what we desire promptly. It is forged in us while trusting God to receive what we long for. In this episode of 5 Minutes of Faith, Jackie Campbell describes how her character was refined through a series of trials that ultimately led to her purpose. Those that wait upon the Lord will renew their strength. They will mount up with wings as eagles. They will run and not be weary, and they will walk and not faint. Your breakthrough is coming, so just hold on.
I'm Jackie Campbell. I'm a leader, a visionary, and a woman with purpose. And I'm here on 5 Minutes of Faith with Claudia Parker. So I've always been a woman of faith. I grew up in the church. My grandfather was a minister. And so I knew about God. But I remember there was this one particular Sunday. It's like everything just became still. My family life growing up, we were definitely ones that knew Bible. we were in church from Sunday school all the way to after church service. Like we were like, okay, we knew Sundays were gonna be a long day. But that was Sundays. Then you had to get to Mondays. And I would say on the outside looking in, things looked great. We had our suburban lifestyle, pool in the backyard, middle class family in the suburbs of Detroit. I mean, everything looked good. Oh, and I was the little girl that went to church with her fur coat on because my mother had to have me dressed up. So it looked good. But what I did not know at the time was that we were bleeding. It got to a point to where by my senior year of high school, my parents, after 18 years, had went through a very nasty divorce. And at the time, I had a 2-year-old sister and I had a 14-year-old sister. And so my mom packed her bags and she literally moved across the country. I was just graduating high school, and so I decided to stay back and sort of forego the opportunity to go straight to college and just sort of use this as an opportunity to go full-time in my profession. That left me sort of homeless. I had all my clothes in the trunk of my car, and I would go stay with one girlfriend for a little bit and then another girlfriend for a little bit. I was very, very blessed and fortunate to have such a dynamic group of, I call it my extended family, some amazing friends that were truly there for me during that time. I had to grow up very quickly. I was still, helping out my parents where necessary because we went from having, again, this glamorous lifestyle to literally losing it all. What people didn't know is I tried to take my life twice. It hit me the day that I got saved. That day, that Sunday where everything became still. And I knew in that moment that I wanted to live. And it was like God's just everlasting arms wrapped it around me. I just kept hearing the words, I love you. And I remember going to the altar with tears coming down my eyes. I had been baptized as a little girl, but I rededicated my life to him in that moment. And I felt the will to live. God said, use your story as a ministry. Pearls for Your Purpose was designed for women to come together, to share, to have a safe space. I truly decided to surrender my life to God and to trust God. If you go back to my little girl and my teenager, I had to have it all figured out because it was a point in my life I was living out of my car. I had to figure out where I was going to have my next meal, whose house I was going to stay at, where I was going to wash my clothes. So there was a lot of things that I had to do to figure out what was next. God said, you don't have to do that anymore. I will figure it out for you. You just have to trust me in those moments, those dark moments where you might be laying on the floor in a pool of tears, maybe even a pool of blood. Maybe you got $1 until payday. Maybe everyone who you loved has turned their back on you and has told you that they can no longer offer you their love. And so, ladies, gentlemen, who's ever having the privilege of watching this wonderful episode of 5 Minutes of Faith, let me leave you with this. I have this tattooed on my wrist, Psalm 27:14. Wait on the Lord. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. And then he comes back and says, wait, I say, on the Lord. So I want to challenge you to wait.